Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last episode, making an RE-45 Auto Part 1, we got most of this monster built. Tons of work, but not hard. And now in this episode, making an EVA foam RE-45 Auto Part 2, we're going to finish up this colossal build. And we're going to seal it and we're going to paint it. So let's jump into all these details, let's seal it and let's paint it. So if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Alright, now we're going to come in with a 3mm piece of foam and our same brass tube that we popped these little rivets out of, and we're going to do a bunch more for going on the side of here. Okay, there we go. We've got 17 of these. We're going to put the first one on the line, lined up with our dot. Our dot's right there. All right, there's all of our little rivets. All right, now comes our little pieces that are going to make up the little detail on the top right here. We've got an 8, some 4s, some 3s, and a 6. All right, we're going to take this 6mm piece and we're going to cut a bevel on each side. This line right here is where we want it to come to, but we're going to cut from this side. All right, go through on an angle. Go through on an angle. Like that. Let's see what we got. Ooh, not bad. All right, look at that. Perfect. All right, we're going to take our 8mm and we are going to do the same thing here. We're going to bevel cut the two sides. All right, so we're going to tip our knife. Bevel. Bevel. All right, there we go. Slight bevel on each side. Okay, now we're going to come in with these pieces. All right, we're going to cut these 3mm pieces out first. All right, there we go. Now we can come in with these pieces. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to cut off the bottoms of both of these. And now we can stick these down on here. All right, we're actually changing this. We started with a 3mm piece, but we want to do these out of 2mm foam. All right, now we're going to line this up with the bottom. All right, we'll get the edge hanging over a little bit, but that's okay. And we're going to cut these little windows out. But we're going to see if we can use our sharpened little brass rod. There's 1, 2, 3. There we go, and we'll clean that up. Now we've got both of them done. Simple little detail. Now we're going to get in here and we're going to try to clean that up a little bit. Get a little bead along the bottom. Sweet, look at that. That is cool. And see how this little piece right down here kind of hangs off? That is nice. Wow, very cool. All right, now this piece is going to be coming in right in here in the middle like that. But we're going to do it up here near the front. Okay, the whole bottom is wet. All right, there we go. Whoa, we put a lot on here. Maybe too much. All right, let's smooth it up. Let's scrape it off to an excess piece of foam over here. We're going to set it right there in the middle. All right, check that out. That's sweet. A lot going on there. We got the bevel down both sides, so it's got those angled undersides. We've got a step down here, a window. This part overhangs on both. And then we've got this cool little beveled piece down here in the middle. That is really cool, man. It's looking good. All right, now we've got a couple little tiny details. They're going to be switches that are going to go on the back. And we've got a 3mm and a 4. All right, we're going to set this off to the side. We're going to take this 3mm piece and we're going to roll through it. And we're going to make light cuts through the surface. Don't go too deep, just break the surface. It's called scoring. All right, there we go. Now, all right, let's see what we got. All right, there we go, perfect. Now, super glue down. Got the bottom wet. All right, there we go. We've got our lines through there and the lines on our little button. Okay, now we're gonna come in with our wood burner and we're gonna go right through these dots that we drew. All right, there we go. Right there we go. Nice contours right in there. That's really cool. Okay, now we're going to use our Dremel. We're going to make a couple more rivets. All right, we've got some dots marked around here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on both sides. All right, there we go, right there, there, and these two on both sides. Really nice. All right, now we got some at the top. We got 3 little ones at the top right here and some little tiny ones at the back right here, okay? What we're gonna do with those is we're gonna take the Dremel for one of them. Okay, we've got that center one done right there. Now we're going to come in with our wood burner. Let's make sure it's hot. And it is. All right, now we're going to make some little holes with our wood burner right here. Right there. And right there. See that? All right, there we go. See that? We got the 4 little holes around our switch. And then we came in right up here and we did these 2 with the wood burner and we added one with the Dremel. All right. All right, now we've got a little 4mm trigger we drew. We don't have a template for it, we just drew it. All right, now we're gonna go a little bit wider on here than we drew. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to come in with this little piece of 2mm foam. All right, there we go. Really tiny little rivets we made with a hole puncher. There we go. Now we're going to stick this right there in the middle. Perfect. Little tiny button on each side. All right, there we go. We've got our trigger in there, looking pretty good. Ooh, that's gonna work pretty good. Right. Super glue on the front. All right, there we go. See that? How we got this little extra body piece here behind the trigger? Pretty good on both sides. All right, there we go. Look at that trigger. That is sweet in there. Very nice. All right, that's it, man. That completes the whole build. That was the same techniques we use on everything. We did a lot of cutting out with the bandsaw and the scroll saw. We did a lot of layering up so we could get these kind of recesses in here and in here. We did a lot of rounding over of the edges. We did a lot of bevel cutting on a lot of different places with the bandsaw. All the same stuff we usually do. We poked out a bunch of rivets with our brass tube. We used the wood burner to get a lot of circular little details in here, and some of our little creases. We used our X-Acto knife to cut a bunch of creases and then separate them with heat. All the same techniques we usually do, but just a lot of it. And this thing is totally perfect when you're holding it. This is really, really cool. All right, so that's it. With that last detail, putting the trigger on, that brings the build portion of our Titanfall RE-45 auto pistol build to a close. All right, here we are at the spray stand. We're going to begin coating our RE-45 auto pistol with our Plastidip. And you know what we always say, even if you're outside in a well-ventilated area, do not spray without your respirator. All right, there we go. Several coats of Plastidip on there. Like we always say, look at that, man. That thing is real now. All right, we're gonna start with our wrought iron. All right, now we're going to get inside some of these areas that we couldn't reach. All right, there we go. We've got our wrought iron on both of our areas, and because we used a sponge brush, we've got some slightly little dark areas in the corners. All right, now we come in with our medium gray. Alright, now we're using our little brush, and we're not completely coating it. We're coming in and we're putting in some gray in between the little rivets where we couldn't reach with the sponge brush, but we're not getting solid coverage on there. Alright, see that? It's still a little bit dark around the bottom edges. Inside this area you can see a little bit of that bar right there, so we're just going to come in and we're going to hit part of the edge with our brush. Alright, nice. We've got our wrought iron pieces and we've got our medium gray pieces. Okay, we forgot the bottom. So we just put a real light wrap of painter's tape around our wrought iron so we don't hit it. All right, there we go. We've got our medium gray up at the top. We've got our medium gray on the handle and on the bottom of our clip. Okay, now we just put a loose little piece of blue painter's tape right around that top edge because we're going to hit this middle area with silver and we don't want to hit it. Actually, alright, now we're going to come in and we're just going to hit this metal rail right here in the middle. Alright, now we got the steel color in there, alright? So we've got wrought iron, we've got medium gray, and we've got steel color. Alright, so there we go. We are in pretty good shape so far. Looking. Alright, and then in comes our satin black. You know the drill. Cut in on the edge and fill in. That's it. Now we're just going to go over the whole gun and we're going to do that. Cut in along the edge like that and then fill in. All right, there we go. Look at that. Okay, so now we've got our chip brush. We're going to come in with our brown and a little bit of black and a little tiny bit of water. All right, let's let the water drain out of there. So we're kind of on the dry side here. We're going to come in and we're going to get this all over our metal and our gray. All right, now we can come in and we can get little areas with a little bit more. Nice layer of grime on there. All through here, really nice. All right. And like we talk about, you can come in and you can add little extra pieces of crud in certain areas just to darken that area up just a little bit, like that. Leave that in there in the crevice just so it's all nice and dirty right in here. All right. All right, now we're going to come in with our wrought iron. All right, just like that. See that? How it's starting to break up. We've got gray tones popping out in there. Really nice. And we're just going to come around on all the black areas. Everywhere where there's black, we're going to come in and hit. See that? Wrought iron right in there. Look at that in there. This is so nice. Really, really simple. And that's just enough to break up the black. All right, there we go. Look at that. That is exactly the look we wanted. All right, see that? How we came in here? We broke up our black with our wrought iron. So you see it changing from black to dark gray in all these areas. Right across the top of here. Over on this side, that's just enough to start to give that oxidized feel. So we've got all the grunge that we put in from the mud wash, and then we came in here and we're breaking up the black with our wrought iron, so it's getting that overall kind of gross tone over the whole thing. All right, now we come in with our silver. All right, now we're gonna start adding some really cool scratch marks on here. And we're gonna just like that. See how we're hitting the edge? All right, here we go. Now, take a look at this. Look at that. That's crazy. Look at all the scratching. We just hit the edges all up around here on all of our little edges, just those light little scratch marks on the front of everything. Right up here, give it that look. That's all right, look at that. Right along the edge here and up here. All right, there we go. Check it out. That thing is dirty and scratched up. We came in with our little silver brush. We hit all kinds of little edges all the way around. Just take a look at that. Look at all the silver scratching on all the edges, all the little fronts, all the way around the whole piece. We got down around body edges. We hit all around here on both sides just to get some little edge scratching, a little bit up here, and just finished it off with a little bit right here on top of our medium gray. So it looks like you got raw metal coming through, and I really like this look on these little front edges up here. That's really nice. All right, check that out, man. Thing's cool. All right, so that pretty much does it. With that last detail coming in with our silver and getting our cool little scratches over all the edges, that brings our RE-45 build to a close. Pow, there you go, all finished. Nice and grimy and dirty and weathered and scratched up. Very cool and very easy. Tons of work, but it was not hard. There you go. So you saw us finish off the build, adding all the details on there, and then you saw us jump into sealing it and painting it, which was not hard at all. We came in with our wrought iron in a couple spots. We used a sponge brush for almost the whole thing. We used a little brush to get into some of the areas we couldn't reach. You saw a sponge on our medium gray next, down here. Actually, we had wrought iron, some medium gray at the top, and the handle at the bottom. And then we got a third tone in there with the silver. So it's got like a bunch of like 3 different looking metals on it, and then black. You saw us do all those different colors. We did some light masking off just so we didn't hit other areas. Not hard stuff. And then you saw us come in with the fun treatment. And that's the mud wash. Getting that muddy water on the thicker side, brushing it on and dabbing it off, and just adding little extra parts where you want it a little grungier. And looks nice and dirty. And then we come in with the final touch, which is our brush with our silver, and we just skim some of the edges, and it gives it that nice little scuffed edge look. So between the mud wash and the silver scratches, it looks beautifully weathered and scratched. So there you go. Pretty jamming stuff. That concludes making an EVA foam RE-45 Auto Part 2. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.